Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTcraft Invitational number 4 with myself, TotalBiscuit.
And myself, DApollo.
We're going to be going to Game 2 of DarKFoRcE versus NightEnD. DarKFoRcE is now, as far as we're aware, officially out.
Yeah.
There is no way of coming back unless one of the players has a heart attack. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough from here on out. But still, he can still win the bounty.
He can win the bounty, yes. And, of course, he will walk away with $100 participation as well as the tips that he's earned so far. And we're going to be going to this game, which is going to be on Daybreak in the next few seconds.
Which is DarKFoRcE's map choice. Of course, losing the first game. But I think we're going to see quite a bit of roachling aggression. It's very viable on this map, to be honest. Because you can run around, you can flank and counter a lot easier than what we saw. It's not so viable on Antigua.
This is very, very true. All right. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you Fnatic's NightEnD. He is in the red trunks and he is playing protos to the southwest of this, the Daybreak, versus his opponent, alternate attacks, DarKFoRcE, who is in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the northeast. Yeah,
NightEnd's been playing very solid.
Incredibly so, yeah.
Throughout the entire of the tournament, you know, he's won the first game. He's looking to win this one as well, the way he's playing at the moment. And even though those force fields were so bad in that previous game that he could have lost the game there, he managed to survive, he managed to hang on, and still take the game in his favor.
Yeah, he did. He was taking an absolute pounding. As I said, that first engagement was almost a disaster. Yeah. The amount of damage that DarKFoRcE did was horrendous. But NightEnD was able to recover from that and hold the next attack fairly well. So we'll see. DarKFoRcE has chosen a nice map, honestly. It's a well-balanced map. He obviously feels very comfortable on it. But DarKFoRcE has got to be shaken by this point, really. And he's taken a massive pounding. Well, he's playing 3 series in a row, which he asked for, we might add, you know, and we gave him the longest break that, you know, he could have asked for there. He said, you know, I just want to play and get it over with. So we gave him like a 10 to 15 minute break, and then he's now playing once again. But honestly, it's got to hurt your confidence one way or the other.
Well, how many games has he lost in a row? Like 5 now?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, he lost to the last game against Stefano, that's 1, then 2 versus Thorzane 3, first game versus NightEnD 4. He's on his 5th game.
Yeah, this is his 5th game here. You know, 4 maps in a row down is not nice. Nobody feels good after that, nobody.
Yeah, so it's tough, and it's tough to climb that mountain again because you've been kicked down so hard. It's kind of rough to get back up. So
definitely,
and only the best of the best can do that when they're that far behind. And is he able to do it? We'll have to find out, because if he does, then obviously he can still win this series and win money from it, and may even get tips if he turns it around 2-1. But I don't think he can't advance from the groups now. But NightEnD can definitely push himself, looking great to go for his first place. Because remember, whoever finishes first and second, if you finish first in the group, you have to play second of the other group, which is obviously in a stacked tournament like this, is going to make
a bit of an edge.
A bit of an edge, yeah.
Yeah, it can do, certainly. And you've got to bear in mind, the whole seeding thing is probably about as fair as we can get it to make it give you an advantage there. But still, you might end up against a player that you don't want to run in against. It can be dangerous one way or the other, but we'll see. Whatever the case, DarKFoRcE's match right here could affect the rest of the tournament. If DarKFoRcE wins the series here, then NightEnD will be on 1 win and 1 loss. If he loses this, then NightEnD takes 2 wins, which makes things stressful for Thorzane.
Exactly, and imagine if NightEnD lost this, he'd have to go against Stefano, and he hasn't got the best record against Stefano either. So this is actually a rather important game, even though it seems a little bit lost because it's kind of DarKFoRcE's game to lose. It's more so NightEnd's game to win as well. He wants to grab this game because going against Stefano in the last game of your group is of course going to be difficult.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, every game in group stage matters one way or the other. Everything has an impact on everything else, and this is actually one of the reasons that I wanted to give the comeback bounty. This is one of the thoughts that I had, is that every game matters, but for some players it only matters to the other guy because they're already out. Everything should matter because it affects the group dynamic. You know, if DarKFoRcE just 8-pooled both of these games, for instance, that actually
screws over Stefano.
It screws Stefano. It screws Thorzane.
Oh, it screws Thorzane. Yeah, that's right.
It screws Thorzane more than anybody else at the moment because it gives NightEnD 2 wins, which means that Thorzane's got to win convincingly against Stefano in his final game.
Yeah. We do see a 3rd base come down now, gasless this time. You can see it's back down a little bit faster. And NightEnD actually sent out double probes. One died at the north, and then another one was sent towards the 3rd base. Didn't get the information once again. A good Zerg player will never allow free information like that. So now, once again, NightEnd's in the dark, and he's building a second Zealot, so he's going to march out with 2 Zealots again, so he can do damage to Lings to slow them if they try to slow him down, and can also get the information, is that third up or not? He needs to know whether he's playing against a tech build, or whether he's playing against Roach and Ling from 3 base. So that's what those 2 Zealots are definitely going to try and achieve now. Meanwhile, +1 has started, and will he be throwing down that early Twilight Cancel again? That's something we'll have to see, and he will want to start that on halfway of when this +1 is kind of been going, so we'll see.
Yeah, the early Twilight Council did serve him well in the later game, and his opponent got a read on it, thought he knew what was going on, and so he went Mass Ling, which was the right response. Mass Ling against Blink Stalker is a great response, but you're still talking about +2 Stalkers. They are still going to absolutely pound anything that comes in their general direction, and without the Colossus there, I don't know, it didn't work out, honestly, and as a result, DarKFoRcE ended up going out in the last game, but we shall see. He's got his third up, and that is now complete as well. NightEnd hasn't put any pressure on it just yet, but yes, as he said, there is that probe coming on.
He's going to build a pylon too, so very good play from NightEnd. Pushes out with a 2 Zealots and Stalker and enables the probe to follow behind unscouted. And now he's going to be able to build a pylon down here, and he will be able to put pressure on when +1 finishes.
Yep.
He's also building a cannon, a second cannon, surprisingly, on his natural because he doesn't really know what's going on. And plus, having units out in the middle of the map, he kind of needs to know if a counter attack's going to happen while this +1 attack's going to go down on his third, on NightEnd's third. I mean, DarKFoRcE's third, sorry. So he's taking double gas as well, so he's teching behind this. So only 3 gateways, but chrono boosting into them, and then teching. And now it comes, but there's 6 Roaches on the way. I don't think this is going to work out too well for NightEnd.
No, I don't think so. He's going to be rolling up against the double spines as well by the looks of it, so that's going to be a fairly hard thing to break. It's a very narrow area to attack into as well, so that can be a little bit risky, and here we go. NightEnd's going for it, but he immediately eats firepower from those Roaches, and the Spine Crawler pops up at just the right time, and this is a bit of a death trap right here for NightEnd, as I think you can see, and that's cleaned up without a problem. Yeah,
he's got to sack the Zealots, and the Stalker's going to die because Speed's going to kick him for the Lings, and that really did fail.
Wow. 16 drones to follow that one up.
Yeah, he's going to go all the way to 70 drones like 18, right now. He's going to jump from, I think he stopped droning at 44 drones. He's literally just going to build 30 drones in a row and go straight to 70 because he's at a great lead. And to be honest, DarKFoRcE is very much so ahead in this game now because of that failed attack. That was 7 Zealots or so. That's almost 2 Nexus.
And the cost of the pylon, you got to bear that in mind.
Okay, that is 2 Nexus then, so that's a lot.
It was disastrous, really, for NightEnd. That attack couldn't have gone any worse. Yeah. So DarKFoRcE is now in a great lead. The question is, will he be able to hold on to it? Because he had a lead in the previous game as well.
Yeah. And 62 drones now, still building drones. Building spore crawlers on every base just to be safe, because he knows there's no third base. He now needs to try to filter down the options. What can happen on 2 base from Protoss? Is it Stargate? Is it Colossus? Is it DTs? It could be anything. The most important thing is he's seen that gases have been taken on the natural, so he knows he's teching to something, but doesn't know what yet. And now NightEnd's in a bad place, man. He hasn't got a Twilight Cancel because he hasn't got he can't go to +2. He's now adding on 2 more gateways, or maybe even be a third. So it looks like he's just going to push out for an attack, and I don't really think it's going to work too well.
It may very well not, honestly. And DarKFoRcE continues with this fantastic lead that he's got here. 3 bases, 69 drones. It's a delicious position to be in. Got more gateways continuing for NightEnd, and also picking up the ground armor. I think he's realizing, of course, that his opponent is really in love with Lings, and NightEnd just loves, DarKFoRcE loves using Lings. He is one of their biggest and most adamant supporters, as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh. So basically, the Spire's gone down to go for Mutalisks, but right now there's a big window that NightEnd's going to hit naturally, and it's going to work well against the Spire going down. There's only so it's not going to be Mutalisks, so it's going to be Corruptors, but a Hydra Den down as well. He needs Hydras against his composition. It's 7 gateways and 3 Immortals. That's a big push.
Yeah, it is.
And Roach and Ling can't deal with that with good force fields. So he's trying to get a Hydra. Hydra Den actually builds really, really fast. It's just the range upgrade that takes a while. So he's going to try to build Hydras now to fight against that. And in the production tab, we should see Hydras, and he's going to be happy, man, against Hydras against this. Only 1/1 upgrades because there's no Twilight Cancel.
Yep.
NightEnd walls himself in as well with the pylon, so he's definitely going for this. And I'm surprised we haven't seen Hydras building, only Lings.
That's kind of weird, honestly. I have to wonder.
There they are, okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to shut this down so hard. And I don't think NightEnD can do this. I don't think so. He's 2 Nexus behind, isn't he? Like 800 mils behind where he should be, so it's going to be rough.
He's in a nasty position, isn't he?
But we'll see. There's a lot of force fields available. There's a lot of Stalkers, 3 Immortals, and the Hydras are only just now coming out, and range is not done for them. The longer this goes on, the worse it gets for NightEnD for sure, though. That's
very, very true. NightEnD looking around and seeing what he can see, which is a hell of a lot of pain, potentially.
Yeah. 183 supply versus 141, you know, kind of tells the story.
Yeah, there's no Zealots in this entire composition here, so I can't really blame him for building some Lings either, even with those force fields. And of course, we can't rely on NightEnD to pull the force fields off, considering what he did last time, but he manages to do so this time, honestly, and the Hydra's now moving in. The Lings coming in from the back, however. Oh, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He has to stand and fight here, and reinforcements will come in as well from either side. Hydra's coming in, and here come the reinforcements from NightEnD. Fighting indeed. Yeah, definitely from both of them, but reinforcements coming in, and DarKFoRcE now does have the Hydras in play. Shields now down that Immortal, but I don't know, NightEnD held that pretty well, honestly, and a lot of damage was done to both sides, but DarKFoRcE can afford it.
Yeah, he's just building nothing but Lings now. This is never going to work for NightEnD. He has to do something else, which is a robotics bay. So I suppose he's going to come back, try to expand to a 3rd base, and then try to get Colossus up. But it's going to be difficult because right now, DarKFoRcE can do anything. He's got every tech structure available. He doesn't really want Infestors, of course, but everything else he can do. He can go into Corruptors. He's getting drops as well, so he can drop Hydras. Yeah, man. DarKFoRcE he's got it, man. He's got his rhythm back, which is great to see. Yeah,
absolutely. And he's doing incredibly well as a direct result of that, completely overtaking NightEnD at this point. And this might be a time to max out and then go and kill him. And I think that's his plan. 27 Hydras, and things are looking really grim for NightEnD in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that failed attack didn't work, and this second
That's why we called it failed.
Didn't work. And Plan C probably isn't going to work either, unfortunately. But this is very good for DarKFoRcE. It's going to give him some hope going into the 3rd game if this does go how it's planned. These cannons obviously don't want to complete, but look at that army, man. There's so many Hydras.
God damn, it's massive.
Colossus is building. Yeah. He has Overlord speed and drops available in a few seconds, so he can drop on top of Colossus.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. DarKFoRcE is brutalizing NightEnD at this point, completely punishing him, and this is going to give hope to Thorzane as well. Thorzane wants DarKFoRcE to win this game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And Thorzane fans as well. You definitely
you should be rooting for DarKFoRcE right now. You certainly should. DarKFoRcE has got his game back, you know, he's got his groove back, and NightEnD is just holding on for dear life right now with his 3rd now denied, and against that many Hydras. Yes, he has a Colossus, but really, that's not going to help. Not against that many units.
Yeah, he has to run back though, DarKFoRcE. He can't stay there because the Hydras are so slow.
Yeah,
so
slow leisurely jog backwards.
Yeah, if Blink all of a sudden came into play and Colossus as well, he'd probably lose a lot of them if he stayed on that 3rd base. But he's recollected now, and look at the Overlords coming into play. I suppose he's going to start picking some units up soon. Or maybe not, just going to send them out. I guess he can spread creep on these bases to prevent the expansion going down. But yeah, I mean, he can do everything now and anything. He can build Corruptors, Mutors, Infestors, it doesn't matter. He's just got so many options.
37 Hydralisks. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
I'm surprised he hasn't got any Corruptors, actually, just to fight
against... He's got Ventral Sacks. He's just going to drop everything into the main, most likely.
Yeah, or on top of the Colossus is good as well.
Yeah, he could do that. That's huge. That's a massive airborne Hydralisk paratrooper force here.
There's no Blink. If there was Blink, I'd be a little bit worried because it is a little bit risky having all that. Some expensive
That's some very
Overlords.
expensive units in there, certainly. But I think that DarKFoRcE is in a good position now. The thing is, he has let NightEnD max out almost, which is not necessarily a good idea. He sees his opponent coming, and he's got to bring the rest of his army around immediately in order to deal with this. And I think NightEnd's just spotted what he's up against, is thinking, nope, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Yeah, 8 Corruptors about to pop as well, will help out. But, you know, DarKFoRcE is waiting a long time to look for a good fight, to be honest. You know, I mean, his Corruptors are very late as well. The 4th base is going to go down, and he's allowing NightEnD to come back into this a little bit, but he is going to deny the 3rd base again, which is very important. Cancelled. So very, very good. Just 2 base play. All he has to do is defend this, and he's going to win because he's just so far ahead.
Yep, fourth is down, and of course some economic damage being done right here by NightEnD, but it all comes down to this engagement. DarKFoRcE is just waiting for the perfect opportunity.
1-1 upgrades for Protoss because they haven't got a Twilight Council yet, because he can't.
Yep.
He just doesn't have the money to spend that, and he spent all his money in his army. Meanwhile, +3 attack is coming for these Hydras are at 2-2. The Corruptors at 1-0 as well. The Protoss army is very, very weak right now.
Yep, and I have to wonder when DarKFoRcE is going to go for it. He's now maxed, so as soon as these roaches pop out, he will be maxed out. But it looks like NightEnD is actually going to try and force an engagement. I don't think that's a good idea, honestly. I don't think he's truly... I don't think he knows how large this massive Kraken under the waves actually is, because DarKFoRcE is now teaching him how big.
There's 1 sentry, so he actually doesn't have any force field either.
No Guardian Shield either, which is actually very important against Hydras. Yeah,
there's 1 Guardian Shield available or 1 force field, and that's it. And that sentry in itself has 1 HP, so, yeah.
Yes, this is going to end up getting messy. The thing is, I mean, there are still 3 Colossus, and they will kill a lot of Hydralisks, but there are also a lot of Corruptors in the air as well, so I don't expect that to last for too long. And NightEnD trying to find a way in here, because he's got to secure that base. He's sitting on this one, which is closer to the Zerg, but he keeps getting the other one denied. He has no choice. He's got to build it close to his army.
Yeah, he has to, so... even though the Great Spire is on the way, a 4th base is up for... He can't really fight though, DarKFoRcE can't fight up this hill, so it's like kind of a little bit frustrating for him, because he wants to finish it, he just can't, because he can't fight up the hill, because obviously Colossus will maximize damage. Meanwhile, Great Spire on the way, 3-3 upgrades on the way. He's got a lot of Corruptors, they'll probably all go to Broodlord soon, when that Great Spire finishes. He doesn't really have the supply actually, he's going to have to build some more spines.
Spines?
Some more spines.
Spines.
Spine.
Something along those lines, yes. You sound like you're a voice actor from the game Worms United.
Spine.
Spadge.
Yeah,
Alright.
DarKFoRcE taking his 4th base now with gases.
Yeah, DarKFoRcE actually dropped to below 200 supply for the first time in about 20 minutes. Whoa. Yeah, that's a mass cancel going on right there. And this is, it's not an ideal angle of engagement for DarKFoRcE. I think he knows it. He wants to be away from